Hey everyone, I'm trying to grow a tech channel and I'm getting sick and tired of technology. I have had a tech quarter-life crisis. A quick backstory. I've been obsessed with technology ever since my family got an iPhone 5S. I was just blown away by that phone. I would watch all of the tech events. I would only watch tech videos on YouTube for stuff that I could never afford. And I remember when I was out in public, I would try to guess what phones people were using. A lot of guys would try to catch the eye of a cute girl, no? But for me, no. Screw them thoughts. I want to know if you're using a 6S or a 7. But now I've grown kind of resentful of technology and I kind of wish I never got into it. So let's see if you can relate to why I think I had, my tech reckoning. Number one, tech nowadays is kind of boring. I can't remember the last time I was genuinely blown away by a piece of technology. Like, what do we have to look forward to this year? Faster Macs, an extra button on a phone to take pictures, and then a 2025 full of Android companies magically adding a new button in a way that's less intuitive. I perfectly understand there's only so much that you can add to a piece of rectangle, but there have been times in the past where we have had dud phone upgrades like the iPhone XS and the iPhone 7, but there was still a certain level of excitement by the fact that it was just a new iPhone. That makes me sound really dumb, but perhaps it's because I was younger and your emotions tend to be more extreme because something's either really amazing or really sucks. And as life batters you down with age, that childlike wonder and excitement certainly does deteriorate. And making videos on new phones and new iPhones and leaks and all that stuff, it just feels like a chore. It's just exhausting to do it, and I had to sort of trick myself into caring about it. I felt like those poor North Koreans who have to act like they give a crap about Kim Jong-un. That's how I felt. First world problems, huh? There simply isn't anything that exciting going on with mainstream technology. And in that boredom, I do admit I used very engaging thumbnails, to say the least. They weren't clickbait, I'd refute that, but I certainly was trying to grow my channel by essentially angering people. And that sort of mentality led to me essentially having not a single positive video on my channel. It was all complaining. And that just gets exhausting after a while because we don't need yet another reminder of how much life can suck sometimes. I'm not saying that burying your head in the sand and acting like everything's just perfect and wonderful and sexy is the way to go about doing things, because the tech community and the tech industry certainly has its issues. At this point, some may say, well, what about AI and the Apple Vision Pro and AR glass and all that stuff? And that's pretty cool, that's exciting. Well, here's the thing, that stuff is extremely dangerous and I sort of root for their failure. For example, AI. Depending on who you ask, it's either the second coming of Christ or the biggest scam ever. And the answer is probably somewhere in the middle. And that middle, whilst cool, also consists of deepfakes, mass misinformation, loss of jobs, companies profiting off people's loneliness with AI girlfriends. The better this tech gets, the more impressive it is, but the closer that you and I get to being replaced by a robot and being unemployed, and the more power that a small group of tech elites will have to essentially make reality. Same thing with AR glasses. Very cool, very impressive, a lot of great potential, but the cheaper and more accessible that it gets, the closer we get to being completely encapsulated within the internet, and all the negatives of social media and smartphones will just be exponentially worse. And putting aside the fears of futuristic tech, I also kind of dread tech being added to normal dumb product. I remember being obsessed with smart TVs and smart refrigerators because that's a normal thing for a guy to be obsessed over. Nowadays, I would pay extra to not have a smart TV because smart entails having ads being tracked, software updates that barely change anything, having to make an account to switch on a freaking light bulb, having to pay a subscription fee for a feature that's already on the device, like you see a lot of cars these days. To me, smart just means that you're giving up privacy and security and allowing a company to essentially have remote control over your device in exchange for a couple of conveniences that don't really matter. Number two, I'm just sick and tired of screens, man. We are staring at screens all day for work, for university, for education, for fun, for pleasure. I am sick and tired of looking at screens all day and having dry eyes that you rub and get all itchy and having a headache, being bombarded with notifications and pop-ups and all recommendations and
bang, bang, bang. All very acidic, above the shoulders mustard shit. Alright? It kind of can wig some people out.
When I had my tech epiphany, I got back into reading. I read a couple of the Harry Potter books, which means that I'm a rebellious hero or a bigot. They were used, by the way, okay? So just please don't cancel me. It just felt good to stare at paper and, not feel like my eyes were having pins driven up there. It felt like I finally let out a huge breath of air I was holding in. It was like meditation. It was really good. And I don't want to go back, but the question is, how can I run a tech channel and want to get rid of screens? I think I've honestly grown kind of, you could say resentful of technology. And a lot of us on the younger side, 2000s kid, Gen Zs, we spend too much of our life, staring at screens, probably watching some degenerate crap. Not me, but some of you, of course. And I'm trying to, right the wrongs of the past. I still love making YouTube videos and all this stuff. It's a lot of fun. But I think I am done with smartphone news and tech leaks and all that stuff, right? It's just that time has gone. I want to focus more on making videos that are genuinely useful and that, benefit your life instead of leaving you either annoyed, weirded out, or angry. I just don't want to look back on these years and be like, man, I spent all this time complaining about stuff that I don't even own. The question is, do you guys feel similar to this? Let me know in the comments down below, and if there's enough comments, I'll actually make a dedicated video going through all this stuff so we can have discussion and really see what's going on here, because I feel like there's a lot of people who are sort of waking up to how damaging all these screens and technology really are to us. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys see. Make sure you like and subscribe to see more hopefully better stuff. I can't promise it because I'm still me and I'm an idiot. See you soon. Bye bye.